Beyonce thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp,
Okay.
and she said something supposedly.
She has been through some trauma and some of with Rock Nation, with Desiree Perez, with other individuals.
You got these lawyers that just frauding and pit anything they doing, anything they want basically in the courtroom, and the judges is just allowing this to go on.
Not for his music. Jay-Z's name is making news again. The court recently approved the long-pending paternity lawsuit involving his alleged son, Rymir. Jay-Z has now been formally instructed to reply by July 18th. This is no longer only tabloid drama. It's an official court. However, who has been driving this whole thing? You already know 50 Cent. That man continues to be dirty and enjoys every moment of this one. The story has gone viral on social media, and Nicki Minaj has now joined in. She added her own flair to 50's dubious tweet, which she retweeted. Is this why he was so popular the other day? I'm not sure. The glory belongs to God. That alone indicates that even the rap queen is keeping an eye on this. Get this too. Rumor has it that Beyoncé may be working behind the scenes to thwart this case. Indeed, it is true. According to reports, she is using her power once more, as Rhys' godmother stated in previous interviews.
Thing came when a friend of mine who knew her, somebody in her camp,
Okay.
and she said something supposedly, this is all hearsay,
Okay.
about regarding saying Rymir needs to go away little boy, something to that effect. There was something out there
Right.
with the song they made. And then next thing I know, somebody was at my property. Somebody came to my property in the evening time and had a conversation about trying to get in through the back.
There are crazy power plays playing in the background. However, this is where the conspiracy theory kicks in. According to certain claims, Jay-Z is supposedly connected to a sinister secret, which is why this lawsuit was ultimately permitted to move forward. Something about a supposedly morally dubious transportation plan that led to Rhys' birth. Yes, exactly. Rumor has it that Jay has been avoiding the case because he is aware that if he enters the courtroom, the truth will be out. Not to be overlooked, Jay-Z typically doesn't hesitate to call out lies. Even after people accused him and Diddy of a terrible crime involving a minor, he had no trouble legally clearing his identity. He worked quickly on that. But he's quiet about this Rymir problem. Not a single sound. Why is that? The numbers don't add up. Additionally, it appears like Jay-Z's silence is running out. The more time passes, the more twisted this entire situation becomes. Let's dissect it. Just facts and fire, no nonsense. According to rumors, Jay-Z and his legal team have been using every tactic known to man to keep this paternity issue hidden. However, it appears that Rymir may be receiving his long overdue opportunity to undergo a true paternity test. Yes, exactly. According to official sources, the judge approved the course of action. And you know what? I have access to those court documents, and they are very explicit. The judge didn't mince words, plain as day, it says. Answer Lily Coley's most recent filing against Sean Corey Carter. The court grants the ex parte application for the grounds listed above and directs that the defendant's time for answering the plaintiff's concerns be extended to July 18, 2025. Boom. Signed and stamped. Jay-Z is forced to respond as a result. He is now formally on the clock. This is the section that has plagued this case for many years, the tale of Rymir. He claims that in 1992, at his aunt's Brooklyn apartment, his mother, Wanda, had an affair with Jay-Z. Wanda claims that Jay took her from Philadelphia by car. They experimented and employed protection, but to no avail. She became pregnant. After returning once roughly 2 weeks later, Jay disappeared. She had no method of getting back to him. Rymir claims that until his mother finally told him that she thought Jay-Z was his biological father when he was about 8 years old, he was unaware of any of this. Her birth certificate had previously listed Robert Graves, her current boyfriend, as another man. However, A DNA test in 2011 established that Robert was not the father, and his name was legally removed. Wanda told Rymir right away that she had only dated Jay-Z and Robert. Who does that leave if not Robert? However, this is when things take a very different turn. People are claiming that one of the main reasons Jay-Z has been evading the paternity test is because of this. Jay was 22, and Wanda was only 16 when he supposedly had an affair with her. It's a severe matter. If accurate, that might clarify why he has been avoiding that courtroom. The facts are mounting, and the silence is growing louder. People are unaware of how much deeper this whole issue is. In fact, Wanda's godmother revealed some shocking information some time ago that is now making a comeback, and it's crazy. She claimed that one of Jay-Z's internal attorneys called her. Everything appeared to go smoothly at first. They seemed sincere in their attempt to resolve the matter in private, as evidenced by the respectful tone. They have even shown interest in Rymir's musical compositions. Yes, they reportedly discussed signing him to Jay's label, but only after he graduated from high school. However, it was shut down by Wanda's godmother. No, she said. At that point, everything changed. Suddenly, a new legal team arrived, and things quickly shifted between them. Much less cordial and much more combative in her opinion. They discovered that this was more than just a financial problem. A legal minefield existed. Sean Carter was dealing with much more serious issues than a paternity test if Wanda was indeed underage at the time. As she alleges, this is where things become even more complicated. Another legal avenue becomes available if Jay-Z is shown to be the father, because he apparently did more than simply have sex with Wanda when she was 16. According to reports, he transported her across state lines to his aunt's crib in Brooklyn after picking her up in Philadelphia. Nobody wants to get involved in that legal scenario, especially someone with Jay-Z's level of notoriety and wealth. Now, Wanda did make an effort to hold him responsible back then. She sued Jay-Z in civil court to get child support. However, the action was dismissed because she filed it in the incorrect state and was never given another chance, not because it lacked merit. Jay's legal team took advantage of that. According to one of his attorneys, Jay-Z had no stake in any custody dispute concerning Rymir. Wanda was therefore unable to push forward. Rymir, however, wasn't going to give up easily. Fast forward, he decided to take matters into his own hands. However, he claimed that each time he advanced, it felt like he was hitting a brick wall. Why? He claims that Jay-Z was obstructing him at every turn by using his wealth and power to buy off judges, attorneys, and other parties to keep the case stalled.
They're just frauding and pitting anything they doing, anything they want basically in the courtroom, and the judges is just allowing this to go on. I honestly believe that both of them should be hold it responsible for this, because you guys, this is you guys' job, and if the judge can't see this or overlook it, I can understand a mistake, but just throughout the years, this continue to overlook fraud it's just craziness to me. Like, come on, it's right there in your face. If you can't see that, then I don't know what else we can do to help you guys believe that it's something crazy going on with this case. Honestly, I just want everybody in the world just to keep their eyes open and just watch things that happen, that just like how things unfold, because it's crazy. It really is crazy. These judges, these lawyers, this fraud, this collusion, who knows what it's for, money or friendships or whatever they got going on. But I can honestly say that we should never go in the courtroom feeling like we're already the victims and we did nothing.
Rymir attempted to take it all the way to the Supreme Court at that point, but they rejected him, claiming they lacked the authority to reopen lower court cases that had been sealed. Rymir did not stop, however. He filed a new refile, this time in the New Jersey Superior Court's Appellate Division. It speaks volumes that he has come this far. The entire conflict has been little more than a slog. Since the beginning, Jay-Z's legal team has been playing hardball, claiming that he shouldn't be made to submit to a DNA test in New Jersey because, get this, he allegedly never lived there or owned real estate. Rymir was nearly cornered by that technicality since, according to the law, he couldn't have made Jay-Z take a paternity test until he produced the receipts. Rymir provided evidence, everyone. He shared a shocking revelation from Tina Nolly, Beyoncé's own mother indeed. Tina supposedly attested in her book that Jay-Z did, in fact, own real estate in New Jersey at the outset of this dispute. That's enormous. Therefore, it's possible that all of the claims about Jay never having any connections to the state just fell apart. There's now a legitimate legal route forward because the man owns property there. You would think that after all of this back and forth, this would have been resolved years ago, but the judge ultimately declared that enough was enough. The momentum is changing and the case is progressing. Now thousands of people are standing with Rymir, supporting him and calling for the truth. And who do you think is shedding light on this case? Nicki Minaj with 50 Cent. Nicki is not merely watching from the sidelines. She is directly targeting Jay-Z's empire. Nicki went off after publishing a deep-cut interview with Dre Hadley, who happens to be Roc Nation CEO Desiree Perez's arranged daughter. Dre claims in the interview that her own mother locked her up in a mental hospital. She even asserts that Roc Nation was actively targeting Nikito, silence her, and take away her voice. Nicki is also not going to back down. She attacked Roc Nation for targeting her family, claiming that they specifically targeted her husband and child and took actions that should have raised alarm across the nation.
Been through some trauma and some of with Roc Nation, with Desiree Perez, with other individuals. What I can say about that is I've witnessed and heard a lot of things. Again, it's hearsay, right? So it doesn't even matter. And that's why I'm not even going to go into detail with that. If I have the opportunity to speak with Nicki, would love to connect with her on that. But I've kind of seen, just like you firsthand, how they've they've abused of her platform, they abused her talents, they've abused of her freedom of speech, they've abused her family, they've attacked her husband, they've attacked her child, and it's sad. It's really sad. Somebody so resourceful, talented, high profile as Nicki Minaj being targeted. It should really scare the American people. It should really scare you guys too, right? Because I'm the daughter, so it's like at this point, if it's happening to me, I think she's really outspoken, and I'm grateful that she's being outspoken on it, because I think she's almost seeing it like, well, it happened to me, it's happening to her, let me speak up on it. Nobody is safe right now. And she's fed up. I think she's fed up because she's been through a lot.
Her remarks were forceful, akin to a blunt warning. She referred to it as sabotage, and it has many wondering just how serious this is. Nicki has been revealing much more recently, implying that Jay-Z and his team have been actively working behind the scenes to ruin her. She claimed that's the true reason she hasn't released any music. She even implied that there had been a covert effort to use deceit and pull strings behind closed doors to turn her own husband, Kenneth Petty, against her. Jay-Z remains silent throughout all of this. That speaks volumes. Nicki Minaj continued after that. She increased the temperature even further. She launched a vicious attack on Jay-Z, alleging that her fan pages and content have been shadow banned on social media, and that this is all part of a deliberate plan to harm her reputation. The worst part is that Nicki claims Jay-Z owes her money. Indeed, she made it public and has since sided with Rymir, putting even more pressure on Jay to take the paternity test. And based on the current course of events, that test may come to pass. Rymir may finally be getting a chance to move on from this whole situation after years of being dragged through legal wrangling. However, despite the growing support from both celebrities and common people, some continue to doubt Rymir's motivations. What is his true desire? Is it cash? An apology in public? Or is he merely asking Jay-Z to accept the past? In recent remarks, Rymir made it quite evident that this case is not about pleading for a family reunion or being welcomed as a son. It is much larger than that. Rymir stated unequivocally that his family was let down by the judicial system, dishonest judges, and broken courts. He alleges that his family suffered financial losses as a result of dubious court rulings, which even resulted in the unauthorized placement of liens on their house. He has been fighting for so long because of this. Justice, not simply a last name, is what he's aiming for. His position has remained constant. I don't want Jay-Z to give me money or anything else. All I want is for him to come clean and give the public the truth. Rymir said as much. And he asked Jay a serious question. Why don't you just take the test if you claim that you are not my father and that my mother and you never had a relationship? Why is no always your initial response? Rymir just wants answers right now. He desires lucidity. He wants everyone to know if Jay-Z really transported his mother Wanda from Philadelphia to Brooklyn, where they supposedly hooked up when she was 16 years old. One of the most significant claims that has never received adequate attention is that one. And the questions will only grow louder until Jay speaks up. Because the mess is unbelievable, let's move on to these last astounding elements. To begin with, Jay-Z's attorneys were found to have lied in court. Yes, they admitted before the judge that they had misspoken, but the records remain unfailing and people are labeling that move as immediate damage control. Then there is the jerk. Jay-Z allegedly attempted to secretly resolve the matter years ago, but he formally rejected all of the allegations in court. So why the abrupt change? What's actually happening in private? However, it grows even more gloomy. Rymir made a shocking revelation. He claims that someone attempted to remove him following the filing of his civil lawsuit against Jay-Z. He uploaded pictures of his automobile with bullet holes to support his claim that he was shot at. Furthermore, he claims that when police pulled him over, it felt like a complete setup because something had been planted in his car. These are not merely baseless charges. These claims have the potential to be fatal. And it's horrifying if it's true. All of this sounds uncannily similar to Dre Hadley's remarks against Desiree Perez, the CEO of ROC Nation. Recall that she claimed her own mother had locked her up and used coercive methods to keep others quiet. There are similarities between Rymir's charges and Dre's account. It is calculated and provided. People are beginning to take this seriously. As the dots begin to connect, the situation is rapidly intensifying, and the pressure is now formally on Jay-Z since the judge has ordered him to reply. Will he continue to sidestep as previously, or will he ultimately confront this head-on? Post your opinions in the comment section. Do you believe Rymir is being honest? Is there a more significant event occurring behind the scenes? This story is far from over, so make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you at the following one.